Good evening, class 5. Welcome to your online science class. We were doing the chapter food and health, very fast chapter, and still now we have done different types of nutrients, different names of the nutrients, and what are their other names, what are balanced diet, and what are the different way of preservation of food, and how we can preserve them properly for so that they do not destroy their nutrients. Today we will start with disease, as I have told you in the last class. Page number 4. A person with a disease feels unwell and weak and is unable to work properly. There are different types of disease. Some are caused by very tiny living creatures called germs, and some others are caused by a deficient diet. Now see, disease, we know that when we feel unwell, when we feel sick, or when we feel unhealthy, we are called that we have got hold of some disease. Now, what is the result of that? We are unable to work, we are unable to play, we are unable to do our regular activities right from the beginning of the day, isn't it? Now, these diseases can occur in for different reasons. One for germs, and another reason is for deficient diet. Now, in the previous classes, second last class maybe, I have discussed the diet and what is a good and balanced diet, isn't it? Now, these diet, what will happen if you eat something less and something more? Then there will be one deficiency disease, because you are not eating that particular type of nutrients what is required for your body, isn't it? So through two different ways disease can cause. One is through germs and another one is through not eating proper foods. Now we are going to discuss the infectious disease. If someone in your class has a cold or conjunctivitis and eye disease, other children also get the disease. Such disease can spread from one person to another. So, infectious means what? There are some infection inside it, and infection means what? Which can catch hold of another person. Suppose I am ill, if I come to school, if I come in contact with other people, those who are healthy, they can catch hold of my disease because I am spreading the infection to them. So, infection is the type of disease which spread from one person to the another. See, it is written. Such disease can spread from one person to another. They are called communicable or infectious disease. Now comes the word communicable. What is the meaning of communication or communicable? Why the disease is calling communicable? Because the meaning of the word communication. Communication means what? When you are connecting another people, isn't it? When you are calling someone in mobile, or maybe video, like or in different options are there, video call or telephone or mobile. Anyway, when you are communicating, you are coming in contact with the person, isn't it? But here in case of this disease, why it is calling communicable disease? Because this type of disease can communicate from one person to another. Means when I am a person with that particular disease, I am meeting a healthy person, the germs can spread from me to the other person. So we are communicating with the germs, isn't it? So as there's a communication due to the germs, it is called communicable disease. I think you can understand. Infectious diseases are caused by germs. A person gets the disease when germs enter the body and harm it. So when my germs, I am releasing my germs in different way, that we will see in the next part of the chapter. And if the germs enter into a healthy person's body, what will happen? The germs can enter in his body. These germs can spread to other people who come in contact with the sick person. Just now I have told that when I am a sick person and another person is healthy, and when I am spreading my germs to him, the germs are entering in his body. Nowadays, the coronavirus, what we are scared about, what we are worried about, is also a type of germ which is spreading from one person to the another, and thus we are taking so many preservations, isn't it? So many precautions we are taking. Yes, these diseases can be spread in many ways. Now we will see in details that how this spread of infection can occur. You can also be alert about it, isn't it? If you learn this, you can know that yes, we should be very careful so to not to spread the infection from one person to the other. Through infectious food and water, infected food and water. Food and water can become infected with germs if they are not stored properly. Germs enter food through dust and dirt. Insects such as cockroaches and flies and small animals such as rats also spread germs. So if you keep a food in your kitchen unleaded, uncovered, the germs, the cockroaches or the flies, they can sit on the food and you do not know whether the food is in a proper condition or not. And when you are eating that food, the germs of that cockroach or maybe flies and maybe that untidy fleas that can enter in your body. Eating infected food and drinking infected water cause disease to spread. So this is how the food and water can be the cause of spreading infection. Diarrhea, typhoid, jaundice and cholera are some diseases that can spread in this way. What are the example of infection food and water? Infection which can cause through food and water: diarrhea, typhoid, jaundice and cholera. These are very difficult spelling. You have to by heart them. Next is through air. When a sick person coughs, sneezes or spits, germs are released into the air. So why do everyone says that you must use a handkerchief when you are sneezing, when you are coughing, and you should not spit on the road? Spit means releasing water from mouth. Isn't it a very bad habit? Sometimes we see in the road people are doing. We should protest against that. When a healthy person breathes this infected air, the germs enter the healthy person's body. Now see, suppose a person who is ill, he is sneezing and the germs in the air is spreading, and when I am a healthy person, I am breathing it inside, the germs are entering through our nose and mouth, and thus I am also being infected by the person. And spitting is a very bad habit that can spread germ as well. The common cold, flu, measles and chickenpox spreads in this way. So there are some infectious diseases which can cause cold, flu, measles and chickenpox. These are very known names to us, isn't it? Yes. Next is through insects. Blood-sucking insects such as mosquitoes and fleas also spread disease. When a female Anopheles mosquito sucks the blood of someone who has malaria, it sucks in malaria germs too. So see how nowadays we know along with this coronavirus effect, we are facing with dengue and malaria. This has also become a very vital disease which are nowadays spreading. And dengue, sometimes we are seeing that it is a dengue, some cases we see. So how it is spreading? See, when a female Anopheles mosquito, the criteria is it should be a female mosquito and Anopheles. The category is maybe two types, Anopheles and Cufelis, that I am not sure. Two different types of mosquitoes are there. When Anopheles are sitting on the sick person's body and sucking blood, the mosquito is becoming infected. And when it is sitting on someone else who is fit and healthy, the blood is entering into his body, isn't it? And thus it sucks in malaria germs into it. It then becomes a carrier of the germs. So when the blood is being sucked by the mosquito, it is carrying the blood inside it. When it bites someone else, the germs are spread to the person. Dengue is also spread by mosquito. Plague is spread by fleas. So rat and fleas. So in this way, dengue and malaria used to spread when a mosquito used to sit on a particular person and they used to suck the blood, and again they will sit on a healthy person's body, and they will bite on that particular person. The blood will automatically enter in that person's body. Next is through direct contact. Disease like ringworm, chickenpox, measles, and the common cold spread by touching an infected person or by using items that have been used by the infected person, like towel, handkerchief, or toy. Now see, why do we all use different handkerchief, different towels, different bed covers, or different blankets for each and every individual? Because that is a good carrier of the germs from one person to the another. Suppose I am infected with cough and cold, and if my handkerchief is being used by someone else, or if my towel is being used by someone else, there's a high chance of getting infection. Germs pass from one person to another in this way. The final one, through damaged skin. Your skin acts as a protective wall of your body. See, we know our body is made up of muscles and bloods, and when we will go to the other chapters, bones and muscles, we will see that muscles and bloods, they are protected by the good quality skin. And the skin, if it is damaged, then what can happen? Let's see. Germs cannot enter your skin, but if your skin is cut or damaged, germs can enter freely and cause disease. So if it is cut due to any reason, due to your falling down, it is scratched, or it is being in some part of your body is damaged due to any reason, then there is a high chance of entering the germs in your body. Germs of disease such as tetanus gets into your body through cuts in your skin. So the example of damaged skin and how the infection can grow inside our body is tetanus. So these are all about the infectious disease, and next day we are going to continue the preservation of infectious disease. How can we prevent us from this infectious disease? Now, how it can spread we have read. Now we have to prevent ourselves from all these germs and infections, and how to prevent that we will do in our next class. Thank you.